Welcome to this edition of Morgan Asked For Podcast. Solo tonight. Trevor's out with a show for work. So it's going to be a shorter one tonight. Just going to call this one, Cap's thoughts, just a few of my topics I want to talk about this week. But mainly I just want to thank you, the listener, the viewer, however you consume this podcast. I just want to thank you. The podcast has gotten a little bit bigger. We've changed a few things, changed platforms, changed some hosting sites, and able to see where and how people are viewing this. And it is amazing. There's, 4 people in Sweden listen to it, 2 people in South Africa. It is amazing who listens to this and where, and it's really interesting to see. We're well over half the states have someone that have consumed this in the last month. Thank you. Thank you all. And the one thing we ask that you can help us, subscribe on your favorite platform, like it, rate it, review it, and then most important, tell a friend that you think might like the show and have them tune in, and then they can do the same. And the more word of mouth and the more people consume it, then it gets rated higher on each platform, and then more people can get it. And it does help us more than you know. Then also, I want to personally thank Steve Shetler at Steve Shetler Media for allowing us to be on his platform. Also with the help of Dan Bryce at DB Landscaping for making that possible as well. We thank those two so much for helping us out as well. That's always another way people can consume us. I believe it's Thursday night about 7 o'clock. He plays about 15 minutes or so of each podcast. So that is our thank yous, and I know Trev feels the same way. It is interesting. I'll text him something. Hey, somebody listened to us in Hawaii or the Philippines or Japan, whatever it may be, and it's kind of neat to tell him. Or 37 people listen to us in the state of New York. I don't know one person that lives in New York. I'll be honest. I have no idea. So that's great to see, and we do thank everybody. Now kind of a couple of the headlines, and it's going to be 2 topics today that I'm going to talk about that we don't talk about here on the Morgan You Asked For podcast. They're interesting to me, but it's not the NBA, and that's going to be number 1. We don't talk about it very much, and it's really because the regular season sucks. Not going to sugarcoat it. The playoffs are really awesome, and everybody tries really hard. Load management, I understand it. I get it. I do know why it's happening. But it is really hard for me to turn on a game or to ever want to go pay to watch a team play when you have no idea if that player is going to play or not that you want to watch. And it's not because they get hurt. That does happen. And if I'm sitting there November 10th and I say, hey, the Golden State Warriors are playing in Chicago March 10th, and I want to go. So I'm going to buy tickets. If I'm watching Golden State, I'm taking Tyler or somebody, and they want to watch Steph Curry, and on February 10th, Steph Curry blows out his knees out for the season, that's bad luck. That's okay. It happens. But on that night, he played the night before, and he plays the next night, but he sits that night out because it's his second day of a back-to-back or whatever. That's hard for me to justify ever buying a ticket to the NBA. And I believe the ratings this year for regular season were down a lot. Now, they have jumped back up in the playoffs because playoff basketball is fun. And that's what I'm going to get to, which former Cyclone Tyrese Haliburton is on fire right now. And he's in the news for a lot of different reasons, some good, some not so good. But we're going to talk about all of that here in the next few minutes. But Indiana, the lower seed, up 2-0 on the number 1 seed Cleveland. Won both games on the road. The New York Knicks tonight beat the Celtics. They are up 2-0 on the Boston Celtics. Both games were in Boston. And I believe in the West Coast, the top seeds both lost as well. Their first game. They haven't played their game 2s yet. I think one of them actually might be going on right now, but it is not over. And it's just showing that the regular season, now these series are a long series. There's still a long ways to go. It could flip. But the regular season is just all about getting into the playoffs. Once you get there, then you turn it on. And yes, your seeding helps, but it doesn't mean everything. You just got to get in. And that's what teams just try to do. And we're seeing it play out that sometimes the better, quote unquote, better team, top seeded team, may not be as good as a lower seeded team. Now I want to get back to the Indiana Pacers and Tyrese Haliburton. In the last week, Haliburton has hit essentially game-winning shots to end the series against Milwaukee. And then last night, 4 points in the last, I think he had 7 or 8 points in the last 47 seconds, but 4 points in the last, 5 seconds, missed a free throw, got his own rebound, and then hit the step back three with 1.3 seconds left. And then they had a heave and they didn't make it. This all coming after a while ago, a few weeks ago, coming out as the most overrated player in the NBA, according to anonymous players in the NBA. So his colleagues voted him the most overrated player. Well, he is shutting them up game after game. Interesting stat today that I heard. In the last 2 minutes of a game, to tie or take the lead, Tyrese Haliburton is 10 for 11 on the year. That's insane. 10 for 11 to tie a game or to win a game this season. And he is not an elite shooter. He's a really, really good shooter, but his shot just looks a little squirrely. It has since high school, college. It did at Iowa State, but it goes in when it matters, and that's all that matters. Kind of a fancy way of saying that, and he wants the ball and he loves it. And he did the signal, the big marbles. If you guys remember Major League 2, Tanaka to Pedro Serrano, where he kicked Joe Boo out and he was saying no marbles and stuff like that. But that's a whole different topic there. But Indiana has won a game where they're down 7-8 points in the last minute or two times. I think it had only happened 3 times ever, and 2 times in the last week with Indiana, with Haliburton hitting the game clinching shot with about 1 second left each time. Now you're getting to, is Haliburton the best professional player to ever come out of Iowa State? I think it's pretty obvious it's trending in that direction. Fred Hoiberg had a pretty good career. Jeff Hornacek had a really great career in the NBA. There's been others that have had decent careers. George Niang's still in the NBA. But Haliburton is approaching perennial all-star, max contract, U.S. Olympic team member. The next Olympics, he's going to have a much bigger role. He barely played this year in the Olympics, but he was on the team. The next one, he's going to have a place where he's playing. He's going to be a person that they depend on. And then just his personality. Him and George Niang, you can't teach it. They just have it. Their smile, it's infectious. People love to be around them. Now the downside. John Haliburton, his father, on the court when they clinched it against Giannis, getting right in his face, unacceptable. John Haliburton is a great fan, great dad, loves his son. He let the emotions get the best of him. And now he cannot attend his son's game. I would like to know the last time John Haliburton did not attend one of his son's games. Because when he was at Iowa State, him and his wife attended every Iowa State game, home and road. They lived, right across the border, not very far from Iowa, but in Wisconsin. So it wasn't just a 1-hour drive to Ames on a Tuesday night in the middle of winter, or it was to play at Texas or wherever they were playing. Even after he got hurt his second year at Iowa State when he broke his wrist. And the Iowa State basketball team was awful, not good at all. They went to every game. His son wasn't even playing, and they went. And that you will not find someone from Iowa State say a bad word about him. Now, I think they all agree that he can't run on the court and get in Giannis's face or get in anybody's face, let alone Giannis. That's crazy, though. I would not want to go face-to-face with Giannis, 7-footer, cut, just a perfect male specimen about. He could kill me if he wanted to. And they could John as well. But Indiana is making a name for themselves. They're keeping going on. And the Indiana Fever transitioning to Caitlin Clark last Sunday in Iowa City put on a show. 2 most important shots that she hit. The first shot came out right away, hit a big long 3. And then right before she came out, hit one from beyond her shot that broke the record where her number is on the floor. She could have only made those 2 shots and it would have been worth it. She puts on a show. She never disappoints, it seems like. She says the right thing. She does the right things. She's almost too perfect. She's going to make a mistake. She's going to not play well. She's 24 years old. But so far, she's done almost everything perfect. And that's kudos to her, her parents, the team they have surrounded themselves with, put her around, the people that she allows into her inner circle. PR dream. People need to take, like I've said and I've heard, once George Niang is done in the NBA, he needs to come back to Iowa State and teach a class and how to just, be a professional and how to promote yourself and to make a city and community and college love you when you're not from there. Haliburton the same way. Caitlin Clark can do the same thing. A little bit different because she's from Iowa and then went to the Hawkeyes, but she can tell you how to do it perfectly. She has the blueprint. She is the blueprint, her and her parents, and whoever is advising them. Unbelievable job. Keep up the great work. The Indiana Fever are going to be good. Trevor's talked about this. Trevor is the WNBA insider here, as I call him. He loves it, WNBA. They're going to be good. They're going to score a lot of points. And Bonner is not going to let anybody mess with Caitlin. Nobody. That was the difference last year. People messed with her, and the teammates let it happen. Not going to happen this year. And then they've got a coach that knows how to do it as well. Stephanie White will get them where they need to be. They will go a long, long ways. I truly believe that. I believe the regular season starts in about a week to 10 days. I don't know exactly what day. I know Trevor, I might have even said it last week on the podcast, but somewhere in my head, I'm thinking like the 15th, so just over a week. Looking forward to that. I don't watch a lot of WNBA. I'm not a WNBA fan, but I'm a Caitlin Clark fan. I am a Cyclone, no doubt about it. But she is worth the price of admission. Don't care that she's a Hawk. That's awesome. She is from Iowa. She does everything right. And she is transforming the WNBA women's athletics. You could argue that she is probably a top 5 athlete in America right now that people talk about, that people want to flock to see. And she is from West Des Moines, Iowa. Normal family. Mom and dad work, make a good living, provided what's best for their daughter and their sons. They got 2 other sons. One was a walk-on quarterback, super successful at Dowling, at Iowa State. It is funny to see she does have pictures of Cyclone gear on, supporting her brother. I always like when they pull those up. It's always kind of funny. She played at all Iowa Tech, so she went to Ames a lot. But Caitlin Clark transforming the game. Love it. Tune in. She is worth the price of admission and to watch on TV. She very, very rarely disappoints. Here's another Hawkeye topic. This is rough for me tonight. The Hawkeye baseball team. Now that we have to talk about the Hawkeye baseball team because the Cyclones don't have baseball. My son Tyler, who I talk about on here, he loves baseball. And he goes, and like 2 of his favorite sports are soccer and baseball. And, we go to Iowa State football games and we go to basketball. We have tickets to, season tickets to football, and we try to get to 1 or 2 basketball games a year. And he's like, Dad, I can't go to Iowa State. I go, why? They don't have baseball and they don't have soccer. Well, he's right. Now, I hope he can play college athletics. Don't know if he will. Doesn't matter. But he's right. He can't go. I told him, I go, if you're good enough, I'll let you go to Iowa to play baseball. 2 reasons. 1, it is close. I love to go watch him play, and it's Division I baseball. Great. Awesome. Number 2, Rick Heller from Southeast Iowa, Eldon. Know people that know him well. Ron Howard, host of Ramblin' Ronnie's podcast, if that's another podcast you like to listen to. Good friend of mine. It is his best friend. We grew up with him. Upper Iowa Peacocks. Then he went on to Indiana State, or went to UNI. Then went to Indiana State. And now the Hawkeyes. They're leading the Big Ten Conference. Just got back from a rough trip out to Washington. Heard him this morning on Travis and Rosh, The Rush, which is a whole different topic that maybe we should get into sometime. Is a lot of radio guys are leaving terrestrial radio and forming their own station / podcasts. They had him on this morning, traveling to the West Coast. Baseball teams, they don't fly private. They fly commercial. He said, it just sucks. He goes, there's nothing you can do about it. It's just like a family of 25 guys trying to fly home or flying to somewhere. It sucks. You got layovers. There's not a direct flight from Iowa City to Seattle, Washington. You got to get to Chicago and then get a bus. And they went 1-2. They're still leading the Big Ten. 2 games where they had a lead or came back and tied it and got walked off on Friday and Saturday. And then on Sunday, they won 8-0. Super tough, super resilient team, he said, and loves everything about it. They do their work. They try to do their 1/9, and they pick each other up. One of the toughest, best baseball clubs he's ever had. They got 2 weeks left of the regular season, and it's big-time baseball coming. This coming weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Oregon State is coming to town. Oregon State is one of the best programs in the country. I believe they're still top 10. I believe they got ranked as high as 2 or 3, I heard earlier this year. They have won College World Series recently. Coming to Principal Park this weekend. Coach Heller wants to get 20,000 people there over the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3-game set. Friday's game's at 6:35. Good big boy baseball. Go support them. Profits get to the Iowa baseball team. Yes, $62 million is coming to Iowa City with Big Ten. Big Ten is given to each school. The Hawkeye baseball team doesn't get very much of that. They get enough. But that's going to football, it's going to basketball, and then it gets split between all the other sports. Go support Rick Heller. He's an Iowa guy. He's a Southeast Iowa guy. And a great dude. I've talked to him a few times. I don't know him well, but I've talked to him a few times here and there, being around Ron Howard and stuff. So support the Hawkeye baseball team and hope they do it. And then the next weekend, Oregon comes to town over to Dwayne Banks Field. Oregon's another great baseball program coming to Iowa City. That will be the last regular season game. Then the next weekend, I believe, is a Big Ten tournament, and that is in Omaha. So over the next 3 weekends, you don't have to travel far to watch the Hawkeye baseball team. And then hopefully they make the NCAA tournament, and then they might go anywhere in the country. We'll see from there. But if you're able to and you like it, college baseball is fun to watch. I've done it a few times. Not going to say I'm a regular Hawkeye baseball watcher, but I've been over there. I've watched them. It's been a couple years, but it's fun. Go support them. That's really about all I got today. Hockey has been great. I stayed up Sunday night, Game 7 between the St. Louis Blues and the Winnipeg Jets, double overtime. The Jets scored in regulation. They were down 2 with 3 minutes left to go, scored a goal, and then scored the tying goal with 1.8 seconds left. Amazing. And I get the playoffs are different than regular season, but playoff hockey is different. It's better than playoff basketball. It's better than playoff baseball. Playoff hockey is unbelievable. I love watching it, especially Game 7s where it's all on the line. They go to overtime and it doesn't change. It's not like the regular season where it changes. The rules change. Nope. It's just you're playing it out. Every 20 minutes, there's an intermission. Just keep playing until it's over. We're getting to May here. It's getting a little bit less. Our football's essentially over. 1 week from today, I think the NFL schedule comes out. You know who you're playing and where. But now you're going to get to see actually what day and when and stuff like that. So that'll be a big day. Trev will be back next week, I believe. I need to talk to him for sure, but he'll be back next week. Again, thanks for listening. This is Cap's Thoughts. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.